but you'll never notice me at all.
3.21 Arbiter of the Damned is finally here, and joining me on the set as per usual is our lovely esteemed colleagues at High Risk Studios. We have Fisherman at the end, AJ in the middle, and Chuck towards me, and we'll be taking you through a very large patch overall. It may take a little bit of a while because we've got plenty of content to actually show you off here today. And as always, we do have Pom Pom with us. Pom Pom,
hello.
How's it going?
Guys. Yeah, I had an upgrade recently, and we've reverted.
Yeah, just
as we tend to do.
Sounds like our balance team then, right?
I liked the old Pon Pon, or last week's Pon Pon.
I enjoyed last week's Pon Pon, to be fair. He said a few more of his catchphrase lines a little bit more often. It was very useful.
It was well done.
Well,
he made less mistakes.
He did.
Yeah.
Wait, you crashed the game twice.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah, you did, Pon. Yeah, you did.
Crashing the game twice is a lot less than how many times you usually crash it, Pom. Are you ready for today?
Yeah, I'm ready. I actually just bought the voice pack for the new thing we're going to talk about today.
I like how he referred to himself in the third person there.
Well, let's go into it, and we'll start things off with Odyssey items first of all. And we'll start it off with the Bones Collection bonus with Baron Frostchild Ymir is going to be in the game this week with his... It's a cello, correct?
Yes, it is a cello.
Just wanted to check.
Good.
I thought it was like a giant violin just because Ymir is a very big guy.
I gotta say, I fought very hard for the cello.
Chuck was the champion of the cello.
I was.
We got the cello sound effects, bonking people and stuff. We'll get in there. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's magic.
I like that he's even doing like the rich guy Pinky when holding his bow.
Oh yeah, he's very fancy.
It's a very interesting one here overall. I do hear feedback on our end at the moment, by the way. I'm not sure why that feedback's coming through to us, but I hope it's not going out to stream the repeat of our conversation a few seconds earlier. But if it is, I apologize. We'll get that technical issue dealt with soon. But I do like the cello is covered in ice still as well. It's like it's ripped it out over here as well, Chuck, out of the ice.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's frosty.
That's basically
well-tailored suit too.
Looking great.
Quality.
Quick fix. Don't worry, we'll be back in the game in a second. We're just going to organize things out so you don't hear me on repeat, because that's awful. It's bad enough to hear me the first time round anyway. It is going to be a very long patch because we do have a lot of things coming to you this patch as well. And so hopefully when we go back into game, we can show you off the animations as well.
Got his spats on and his coattails.
I mean, he looks great as a fancy gentleman ice giant, that's for sure.
All about that hat,
He's so
too.
gentlemanly, yeah.
And this is a collection bonus reward, correct? In this Odyssey, from what I understand. So you can actually get this by unlocking other items inside the Odyssey. And you'll have this guy as well. Don't worry, you will hear sound eventually as well. Small tech issues. Pom Pom's back. What do you expect?
Yeah, man.
Welcome back, Pom.
Production immediately blamed me, and it wasn't me.
It was you. It was
Nice.
you.
I mean, it's
Everyone
just a
just
likely
assumes.
choice, though. We have
I
to exhaust our options.
We need a shirt.
You
just
just said
Pon
less
Pon.
bugs.
Bam.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Pon Pon's gonna make all the sounds now?
Yeah, make
that'll
the sounds,
work.
Pon.
Yeah,
Go.
you can just
Actually, the music is just going to be on the whole time you play the skin.
I guess so. It's just that epic.
Dramatic AF.
For sure.
Perfect.
I like our rendition of it, actually.
It's almost like I've heard that music 1,000 times that I knew exactly what the lyrics were going to go to it. Massive amounts of lyrics.
I do like the music notes.
Music
That's
notes
like-
on his basic attack are key.
I mean, you're hitting someone with a cello, so he should make musical notes, right?
He's got kind of like a beast thing going on when he goes into his ultimate too. He's like, he can't handle it.
What are you doing now, Pog?
I'm just making the minions stop spawning. Because eventually it'll overload everything and crash me.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yes, the map will just fill up with minions.
Apologies for the delays, guys. We're just going to get you the sound working. Surely we'll do the same.
Minor technical difficulties.
Of course. So the Ymir top hat skin is one we've been rolling around for a while.
If you guys want, you can tweet blame Pon, and we'll actually get it fixed that much faster.
Yeah, if you tweet #BlamePon.
The more tweets that actually gets, the quicker this patch notes will continue past this skin.
We get a certain amount of
I
money
know,
per
I
tweet,
personally
which
am happy
we
with
can
doing
pay
this.
our platform.
This skin can solo Gold Fury at 1 minute 45 too, by the way.
Well, yeah, it also
balanced.
deals 6,000 damage with the 2.
There it was. Oh wow.
There you go.
You put on the super cheats.
Pop
Yeah,
Pop,
the super
this
cheats.
is the best game of Smite I've ever seen you play so far.
Wow.
I'm pretty impressed. We will be coming back to that shortly for the voice pack as well. What we can do, though, is we can actually show you the demonic pact ward skin while we wait. We'll just wait for production to get that ready for us. But it is basically an evolving ward skin that doesn't evolve in game. It evolves as you progress through the Odyssey. and this ward skin will be available in the next patch as well.
That's
so
right.
we've been looking forward to bringing this one to you as well, and it's one of the exclusive content items that will be available through it.
Very cool stuff.
This is a very unique ward compared to anything else. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this, actually. I mean, I guess the Pantheon one is maybe the closest, that it changes based on which Pantheon you have equipped. So this ward skin will display through these 4 tiers, depending on how many Odyssey points you have.
Okay.
It's owned by the player, so whoever places it will always see that ward for the whole game, and everybody else will see that ward. But you know, you leave the game, you buy another skin, you can see the next version.
So it progresses from the left-hand side all the way to the right-hand side as you unlock more content in the Odyssey.
Right, and these are, you know, this is the Demonic Pact skin. There's a little bit of a theming with our Tier 5 skin, a little bit, giving you guys the flavor and the art style of what's to come.
There's also very elaborate effects treatment on this particular item too, which is not visible here.
Oh, has it got like flashes and spins or anything like that?
I think it's those.
Does it got effects on it? It's got like
That's what I'm after.
fire
I'm like,
and
is it-
like a
is it
magic
flash-
circle.
Listen,
It
I ain't-
shoots disco balls
I
and
ain't all-
rainbows.
I ain't all special effects. All I look like, oh, does it flash? Does it spin? That's all I care about for the most part. If it does those 2 things, I'm down.
Alright.
Well, we can see the one in game maybe if Pon has it ready.
That'll be
over
our
there. Hi,
next
guys.
ward, flashy spinner.
We don't have any in-game stuff for the time being, so we've got a couple of tech issues to go through. So what I will do is, to keep advancing this broadcast for the time being, we'll move on to a little bit further ahead past the skins. We'll come back to them momentarily, and we'll move on to what I actually leaked earlier on today is the achievement section. That's right, for you guys at home that knew about it. Vamana has gained some achievements. You all love it at home, really. Vamana, Baby Smash as Vamana, get a triple kill using your ultimate. That's actually not that easy, guys.
No, that's not.
That's not
Triple kill.
Triple
Easy.
kill.
No,
during
Journey
the
on
ultimate.
your game.
During the ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, you do move a little bit quicker overall. You know, you're the fastest moving god in the game, but
I mean, you better go sprint curse ult if you really want that one. You know, just go all in on it.
gonna have to do that. But after that as well, you've also got Out of My Way as Vamana, knock up 3 or more enemies with Clear the Path.
Easier one.
That one's very easy. So you can get
like
one of the
1,000
achievements.
times easier.
I mean, I don't know about 1,000 times. You gotta check your numbers.
I don't
Stuff we
know. I
lined
don't know how
up.
many triples you get, but
No, I got one the other day,
were you
and some guy
Vamana
stole my quadra.
doing your ultimate?
But it was an assault match, and
Well-
I don't know. I don't remember.
And after that, that's your only achievement this
Stolen
week, just so you guys
Quadra.
at home know
That's
as well.
sad.
What I will mention is last week on the miscellaneous section, we did miss a few things off.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, good
With
point.
Version 2.0 of Pon.
Yeah, Halloween Pon did forget a couple things that were just from last patch.
True
These
story.
are already in the game, so we just want to talk about them briefly before we get into the rest of the patch. But it is the jungle practice updates.
Yes.
So now if you go in jungle practice, you will find 2 new paths, one of which will change your team. So if you want to queue jungle practice with a friend and test abilities against each other, one of you can step onto the pad and become part of the enemy team. You guys can fight, you can test.
What if you don't have a friend?
If you do not have a friend, you can, go to Twitter or our
Practice get the
SMITE
Odins.
or Twitch and find somebody to party up with.
So
or-
that's where you get your friends from, AJ.
Sure,
huh?
whatever.
Ah,
Of course.
I see. What's the other change?
The other change is the cooldown pad. So
Okay.
this is one we've been requesting for a while. This
Yes,
is one
they
we wanted
have.
to make sure. So if you use your ultimate, you want to test your ultimate many, many times, the timing, the aiming, just fire it, step onto the pad, fire it, step onto the pad, as many times as you want.
So 2 people in jungle practice to switch and change teams, as well as refresh your cooldowns instantly. A couple of things that you guys have asked for and have been implemented.
That's right.
Not only that, if you've not noticed as well, I'm going to save some time as well. Don't forget that Corner skin is on sale in the chest right about now, so make sure you go and do that while you're waiting for the next.
We had one more change last patch that we forgot to mention as well.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the pet timers.
Ooh.
So now over the top of pets' heads near their health bar, you will see a black and white timer bar that will wind down over the duration of the pet. So you can use this to judge how long Bastet cats are still going to be alive chasing you, decide whether or not you want to fire abilities on them or just ignore them.
So you
Wait
can
them
see
out.
the actual cooldown of it.
Everybody will be able to see how
Awesome.
long the pets are lasting. This is going to work on clay soldiers, arachne spiders, new up pets, etc.
Okay, so if we cut back to Pompon's picture right now, you'll see he's moved because we've forced him to go and fix the issues in the back room, and now we should be able to bring you the skins once more. So if we go back to Ymir, we should be able to do it. This
I'm excited to hear this voice pack.
is Baron and Frostchild Ymir. And let's listen to the voice pack, please.
Oh, bravo! I admire your zeal. There can only be one Baron. Marvelous! Attack left lane, defend middle lane. Oh, bravo, bravo! You're an extremely attractive waste of time. Good grief, man. Put some decent clothes on. Of course my family has a coat of arms. Doesn't every family? I like my enemies like Americans like their cup of tea. Weak.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
That was for
That
you.
was good.
Hindu.
Shots fired.
Tina, if that was you, I
That's a
love
Tina.
you.
That's a Tina home
Headset
run
to
right
the
there.
other.
That's because I fired shots out last week. That's why.
So I love this one because it's like Ymir's voice, but he's all fancy and proper now. So it's just super fun.
Hit him with the basics again.
Oh, do it more.
I want to hit more strums.
More.
Prepare yourself
I
for
believe our audio
infinite
guys had to actually smash a cello to get that audio just perfect. Oh yeah, it's a minor price to pay.
Now this is the bonus collection item as we mentioned, but we should be able to move on to the next one, which is Igneous Terror. Which will be
Cost of
available.
skin plus
Is it igneous? Am I saying that right?
cost of one cello.
Yes, igneous. It's a type of rock that forms from molten.
I thought it was, but I don't know
Or
sometimes
lava
because
material.
lore and gods and things always confuse me the whole time. And then
And geology and science.
This
It's
card
all-
art. I mean, this card art just turned out amazing.
Yeah,
I love this one.
It's cool.
yeah, it's right in all the right places, and we can see that in game as well. Comes with a voice pack, and I do love the animations on the abilities on this one for sure as well.
Yeah, this is great. We want Terra, you know, she's very helpful and kind, and even her lore, you know, she's kind of the mother of all there. So we were like angry molten Terra just like worked across the board for us. Everybody
Not
was super
helping
stoked
now.
about this one.
Basically,
Less
angry mother.
friendly.
Yeah, a lot less friendly overall here. Was it very difficult to like have an iterated Chuck into this sort of form based off what she was originally?
It was a little tricky, but I don't know. We definitely changed up the personality a little bit. I think the color of everything came out really nice, and I don't know. It's a very cool, very different skin for her. So.
Say this though, she looks hot.
Oh yeah.
Fishman. Someone had to go there. Well, we should be able to show some abilities as well now. On top of that, the first one, I love these walls. by
Oh
the way.
yeah.
Just leave the walls up. Don't even crush them. Don't even crush them. Shh.
That explode though.
It looks just like the fire giant pit. Is what it reminds me of.
I want to see him slam them together again now though.
Now also
Look at that
notice
magma. Just
her lava changes color based on her state.
Does it?
oh her skin. To reflect the base Terra actually grows some spikes when she has her passive activated. This Terra has a color change in the lava when she has her passive activated. So see, it's very different white, orange, yellow when her passive is activated, and then when the walls go away, we go back to red.
Awesome.
She brightens up.
So if she's yellow, she can't be knocked up.
What's that?
Oh,
Look at the lava. What's that we see there?
We got a sweet molten puddle.
the liquidy effects really worked
I do like
amazingly
that.
on this skin, Chuck.
It does look fantastic. The ultimate is the same old ultimate as you'll kind of see, but it's got rocks around you so you can see the passive. That if you get hit 4 times, those rocks will be consumed, and then it'll give you a heal as well. And then the voice pack as well, I believe.
Yes!
Thank you.
Woo! You rock! I can make you disappear for good. Yeah! Keep it up! Attack left lane! Defend middle lane! I wouldn't think of doing anything stupid if I were you. I was lava before I was cool.
Oh gosh.
They've been checking out these firearms all day. I am so hot on Tinder right now. I've been matching all day.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
The classic jokes. That is going to be Igneous Terror. That's going to be part of the Odyssey with the voice pack obviously included. And next up,
Oh, yeah.
This one's so good.
High Noon.
hype. Yes. It's happening.
This by far looks like one of the best card arts I've seen in a while, just because of how fun looking it is.
Well, it's got a story too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you got a snapshot. You know exactly what's happening.
stagecoach.
yeah.
We are going to
Throw me, Grover.
Hands in the sky.
Well, let's go into game. You can see what Grover the Cactus actually looks like in all his glory.
Oh, it's the...
I thought we were going to
Man,
close up with something
Pond
different
just went
there, but
right
yeah.
in there on the
Went
bird.
Straight in for the bird.
That was
Just
amazing.
Sharp today.
And I love the way Sylvanas just dances around. He's not even worried about being pricked.
Oh,
That's
no.
all.
He is immune to cactus spikes.
Got some
Has gotta be.
Here's your scarring
heavy
completely.
calluses at this point.
Completely. Well,
That
So
chaps.
this skin has been kind of hanging around, potentially occurring in the pipeline forever. And this was actually way more of an effort than you would ever think.
why was it so difficult?
Just getting the guy to have the character of the concept and still work with what Sylvanas was doing, and then we didn't have any leaves, and sometimes he jumps into the leaves, and you know, it's just there was just a lot to it, making sure that everything fell into place for it to
He's
work
also
out.
2 characters, right, Chuck? Like,
Yes, he is throwing dynamite because this skin is dynamite, and on top of that, because his auto attacks are AoE, it kind of makes sense that it is dynamite he's throwing. Unlike an akin as well. That's a good question. Why is his passive meter
We don't
not a
skin
cactus?
passive meters.
we do not, yes.
So
Historically, has
now
not
his
happened.
tree that he plants is a cactus. The greatest question is, why isn't there a sound when the dynamite explodes? You're gonna have to take a look at that. I'm sorry.
Audio, guys. You know, audio is still in development sometimes when we come on the show. Audio is not all finished yet.
It's not all
so
done.
a couple audio will still be streaming in, but
And if you actually root an opposition here, Pom Pom, can you root the opposition? You'll see cactuses appear at the ground of the feet as well, just to let you know they're rooted. On top of that, so a little bit more legs.
awesome.
That's a really powerful.
Put the art team on notice. If Chuck sees something, he will call you out on screen.
Can we make an adaptation to this for when he pulls, because he's a cactus, it will actually hurt. So
Look at that
take damage.
cactus
you know, balance.
forest. What do you call a group of cactuses?
I don't know actually, but I love the spiny parts mixed in there
Pretty
too
sure
with
it's
the
cacti.
cacti.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I mean
like-
that's like saying trees, but
Yeah.
it's a grove of trees, right? I don't know what a.
A sprawl of cacti.
That sounds pretty good.
A grover of
Pretty good.
cacti. That's pretty good too.
That's what they put the show for. No, if you be quiet for a second, you can hear what he's doing during his own, because he does say different lines.
Of
course he
yeah.
does.
Oh man, the dynamite looks awesome.
Boy's so good.
Give me some ultimates again.
This is a stick-up.
There it is.
Oh.
You're crazy, man. I never miss. Aces. Attack left lane. Defend middle lane.
Oh no.
Oh, that's good.
Careful now. You don't want to see a cactus get angry. You're all hot and no cattle. Say, Grover. Does wearing boots and spurs constitute ranch dressing? I shoot my mouth off so much, I have to brush my teeth with gunpowder. Had to shoot an artist once. Looked like he was gonna draw.
He was gonna draw. Oh, quick draw joke.
Yeah, artist murder joke. I love that. That's great.
No Chucks were harmed in the making of this skin.
Just yet.
voice fact.
Anyway, well, as we always do, we also like to update mastery skins alongside skins we bring out, and that's time for Sylvanas to get his mastery update treatment, and here it is in all its glory.
Sweet card.
So,
So
there's
cool.
a card out for it,
Yeah, great card.
and we should be able to show it in game shortly after. Well, I didn't realize he had pan pipes.
He uses those.
I
in,
never realized that.
Yeah, in some of his animations on his other skins. Okay, yeah, no.
And there's a little look
Oh,
in game at it as well. Obviously, the abilities are still the same, but it's beautiful as always. Papa's going to show off the other versions as well for us, so you can have a little look around at each of them. Can you throw a couple of roots of the roots out? Can you throw a couple of saplings out just to see what they actually show like on the one animation? I just want to see if they're gold, or just the fans at home will ask this question as well.
I think they're
We usually just do basic
thought it
attacks
would be, I was just
on
making sure.
masteries. Yeah, so you see the gold.
And the
For
demon.
we occasionally,
projectiles.
yeah. I mean, sometimes Kraken and or cats or whatever have stuff, but not in
looks-
this particular case.
Sylvanas looks good in that bit. Grover obviously looks like Grover, as he should be, in the same colors, but Sylvanas, like, being skin tone is very useful.
Oh yeah.
Black leaves kind of look charred. Which is cool.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah,
an
I like the
expensive
black
tree, that's for sure.
diamond tree. Diamond splats too.
And following up on this mastery, there's also the Camazotz mastery that's going to be in this patch as well. Now that's some badass card.
Oh yeah. Looking real fierce.
Honestly is. And as you can see, I like the way the actual tattoos or the glyphs on his arms look in this. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe they actually glow in the game as well on this skin, which look fantastic on this version of the
teeth,
skin.
too.
Each one.
Yeah, Camazotz was a little tricky to goldify, because making him too gold felt really bad.
Right. Yeah.
So figuring
Except
out the
for gold
pieces,
accents
yeah.
there.
We're
But
working
it turned
hard-
out really cool.
Is it basically working off what kind of fur he has and what fur you could change color, basically?
Yeah, he even has some like little gold flecks in his wing skin and stuff. So
Ooh, nice. Those dark tattoos.
I
Yeah, if he was all gold, he would look like an old mastery skin, right?
Right,
So
right. So yeah, just we
I
we
like
did
the gold
some
accents.
experimenting, and I like the little
You really see when he
hints of
stretches
gold
in
in his
there.
wings. Yeah.
And then they've got the diamond version as well. As you can see, Papa's putting it in for us, and Daddy glows up all diamond.
Oh, yeah.
His little diamond belt as well. Ooh.
Like diamond jewelry.
Old man
He's
Kamazats.
blinged out.
He killed other diamond players to get those skulls around his neck as well, by the looks of it.
Oh, of
And then
course.
shrunk them. I don't know how he shrunk diamond, but he did.
Magic.
Bajic.
Bat magic. Oh, magic. Oh, come on,
I'm
Hindu.
sorry. I'm having
Oh,
a
I
bad
thought
day.
you said bad joke, and I was like calling yourself out.
Listen, that's all I do is just call myself out. Well, next up, you want more content? Here's some more content for you. The SMITE World Championship Digital Loot Pack is finally here. It's going to give you 1,500 gems. For just 1,500 gems, you will get all this content, and we'll
So
go
much.
for it one
Look
by
at that
one.
Hades.
We're going to see the SWC 2017 Heroine Amaterasu, the SWC 2017 Hero Apollo, the Heebie Chibi Hades, Convention 2017 Capri, SWC 2017 Ward Skin, Thunderstick Global Emote, SWC 2017 Recall Skin, one Divine Chest Roll containing a rare esports or convention skin from years past. This 1,500 gems, and we'll start things off with the Apollo SWC skin. And here he is in game. For you all, you can see he has the SWC t-shirt on, and I believe someone told me about his card art had a trophy on it as well, but I've not actually seen that just
Oh,
yet.
maybe not that one. His
And he's
card art
got
is
the-
a super badass, though.
Is it?
Yes.
And he's got the logo in his little wire attachment back there.
Now, this version doesn't come with any different animations, but it is basically all to do with the SMITE World Championships for this one. And you can see the camera rove off as well. You just show him moving around a little bit. The voice pack's still the same as well, but he is part of the deal.
Oh, that chariot looks
He's
good.
a Smite Chariot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smite Chariot.
But we didn't
Smite
just
clothing.
want to do this for you. No! We also wanted to make sure that we could give you the ward skin, which Pompon should have ready, hopefully. Maybe not. Maybe ward skin.
Which ward you got?
You have to buy a
No,
ward.
No wards.
Pompon. Okay. See, Pompon's... Well, we'll get the ward skin and the emotes ready for you as well a little bit later on, because we've got the ward skin, the emo, and the recall effect. But we do also have another skin, the Amaterasu version, the 2017 version, with more added content on it than the Apollo one as well. We get a chance to show that one off. We'll look at the Amaterasu one for you, which does come with, like I said, a voice pack and some cool animations.
Yeah, the Amaterasu one is full deal.
So, okay, so this kind of harkens back to the Ares SWC skin, which I just
Sure.
really love the color scheme of.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it so much that I definitely wanted us to use it again on the SWC skins for this year. And I think it was a huge win, especially the Amaterasu skin came out really cool.
Oh, yeah. The Amaterasu skin's definitely one of the better ones here. We'll have it momentarily for you, as well as all the other effects as well. That's why we've just come out of game for a second to go through this. But this will be 1,500 gems, and you'll be able to purchase it. And here is a look at that Amaterasu right now.
Yeah, so if I have my way, all future SWC skins
Will be this color.
will be this color scheme because it's just too cool.
Yeah, it's
really
awesome.
looks good on it.
It does, and if you actually have, when we get the abilities leveled up as well, you'll see how they look. But there is the SMITE World Championship logo as well, which spins around as per usual. And that logo actually appears in some of her abilities as well, which is kind of cool and actually really easy to read when you apply it to a god, or the god knows it's on him as well.
So, oh, I love her auras.
that's sharp.
Yeah, those are cool. And these I like because they have clear symbolism of the effects too. Like this is the lightning bolt, this is damage, and then we got the nice cloud for speed.
But when she applies a basic attack to that Odin, you'll see the passive as well apply. And underneath is
Oh,
the SMITE
wow.
World Championship logo as well.
That turned out really well.
It's fancy. We've also got the 2, which is the charge up.
Ooh, I like the blue.
Look how it
shell
shakes.
effect.
I like how this symbol shakes next to her as well. The shield that she has starts to shake.
We shooting that logo.
Our team killing it.
You have slain
Boom.
an enemy.
Player kill.
And then we've also got the ultimate as well. You can actually see how it builds up. If you actually do it on a target, Pompon,
Yeah, come
you
on,
will
Pon.
see how the ultimate changes effects there. You saw just like 3 to the right, 1, then to the left, and then to the overall.
Yeah,
And the
li-
lightning bolts appear as you do charge up, just to signify that it is hitting the targets.
looks great.
But it does have a voice pack on top of that.
Yes, it does.
Let's have a listen.
Oh yeah! You are a champion! I should be picked more often. Incredible! Attack left lane! Defend middle lane! This is just a warm-up for the next game. You don't stand a chance against my sword dance. You see this sword? Yeah, it means I'm going to win. Why do they call it championships? Ships can't become champions.
That was bad.
Why do warriors make bad businessmen? They charge a lot.
Uh-oh.
Why do warriors make bad businessmen?
Oh, yeah.
They charge a lot.
Tina was involved in this in no way.
Yeah, right. No chance.
Definitely not a Tina voice pack. Well,
The mirror jokes were on point.
we just want to give you those two skins, though. We also wanted to give you this one as well, the Convention Kepri 2017 one. And he reminds me of stained glass windows in a church.
I can
for
see
the most
that.
part here. With all the colors that he has involved in this.
Very
Yeah.
flamboyant.
We were looking at actually a lot of crazy colored beetles. You know, actually beetles in real life have all this crazy shell coloring with this, and especially when you get the reflectivity in there too. So we were using kind of that as inspiration, and that's where this pink and blue was just a really nice
Iridescent Fresnel effect. Yes.
iridescent Kepri. Oh,
He's beautiful.
the pink.
Tina in chat just said she didn't do that.
She did not do that one. Yeah, right.
Too late, she technically
That's
did.
right.
Just so you know, these all come part of the SWC digital loot pack that's going to be 1,500 gems when this patch does come out. You'll get all 3 of these skins so far that you can see, as well as other content which we'll go through as we continue. But this Kepri one is also alongside it. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
This one
pretty
does
cool.
come with a voice pack, however, but it's very, very pretty in how it looks.
This one,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm going to have to...
Convention
with that.
skins per standard, no voice packs or other
Oh,
changes.
jump
just-
again.
And no one can hear you scream, Tina. We'll blame you for whatever we
yeah.
want.
We need you so we can blame you. It's very important for us.
That's the benefit of being
All right, yeah.
on the
Let's
Patch Note Show.
let's get to the best one.
Want to move on?
Yeah,
But we didn't
I'm
just
ready.
want to give you those 3 skins. We
No.
also wanted to give you Hades Chibi, or Hebe
Yes.
Chibi Hades.
So good.
Now this skin, I'm not even joking, is badass.
It's amazing.
I've been watching this, waiting for this to come out so I can show you all at home. I'm very excited that we can bring this skin to you now. Part of the digital loot ticket as well, alongside a few other little bits and pieces, which we'll try and get to as well. But tell me more about this, Chuck.
I mean, it's cute.
Look at him!
It's cute,
Look at
Hades.
him,
Look
he's
at him.
huge.
Look how cute he is. Look how cute his little clouds
Yes, I love the cloud. His effects are amazing.
To be clear as well, he is exactly the same size as the Hades model in game, but chibi version, so he's bigger. Is the reason for that?
are.
So
His proportions
big,
are
yeah.
chibatized.
When I first
Is that
saw
a-
him-
is that a word?
when I
Chibatized.
first saw
Oh,
him, I
it is
thought,
now.
is he going to be really tiny like Vermont? And I'm like, oh, that'd be really weird having to face against him. But nope, he's still giant and proud, and we can actually show off his. He's got a great voice pack, and he's got great animation too.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't want to create any gameplay confusion
Yep.
so we made sure he ultimately came out as the same size
You
as
did
Hades.
make
I love those
gameplay
cloud
confusion,
effects.
though. Just so you know, you
Yeah,
have
they're
made
so
gameplay
cool.
confusion because Hades is going to get played now.
I know, right? He's gonna get played a lot,
Yes, he is.
and people will realize how good he is now. Maybe.
This is like a glimpse of an art style almost from a different game, like a SMITE that might have been. It's very cool.
the past
Definitely
is
twist on
nice.
anything else we've
might
done.
have been.
Smite to, oh man, we're on a roll with the bad jokes today.
And we're equally bearing the burden, too. It's like no one's just dropping them all.
Have you noticed that Ghost Trail does follow in like a cartoon animation, which is fantastic?
That's standard for Hades skins.
Oh yeah, but still, he looks so much better in this game. Not gonna lie.
Oh no, he's
There's a
scared.
fear with the purple effect.
Oh,
It
now
also
the Odin
turned
bot.
out really
What did you do to Odin?
hard to cheapatize characters.
Odin's
Yeah,
moonwalking.
as we learned at this point that it's hard to cheapatize characters, but it's so worth it, Chuck.
Yeah. Oh no, this skin is so fun.
Can we chibi more?
I mean, if this one does well, you know, and everybody loves it, we'll look into it.
It better do well, Chuck. 'Cause oh my God!
The
look at
ghosts,
ghosts.
the happy
Look at
ghosts, yes.
They're all having
More,
such a good time.
more. Oh, and the swirling like skulls. Oh
If
man.
you go quiet for a second and do it one more time, you can hear the laughter of Hades as well.
The Hebe.
There's different versions as well,
Chibis.
John. The other
Oh
one's
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
One more ultimate. One more before we do the voice pack.
Those ghosts are
Yep.
so cute.
I love the ghosts.
They
And
look so friendly. It's going to be so frustrating
they are
when they
friendly
kill you.
if they're on your team. Another voice pack, please.
But you can't really hold up against it.
Woohoo! Everything is awesome! Oh, bravo!
Am I cool or what? Attack left lane. Defend middle lane. Give in now, and I will allow you a penniless death. I meant to say painless death. Follow me to the underworld. We have cool people. Think of the most horrible thing you can think of, and multiply it by 6, because that's me. Soul searching my entire life. I ended up finding a soulmate, but she was just so Persephone. Huh?
Wow.
He even goes, huh, at his own joke.
Yeah, he's kind of a cheeky version of Hades. Yo, he has a dance. Yeah, he's had a dance mode that's been around for a while. Let's just see the cute one dance. That'll be great. he's gonna camera it for us. I have a feeling. Yeah, Pawn, you the man.
As I said earlier, this will be available in the SWC Digital Loot Pack for 1,500 gems, alongside Apollo, as well as Amaterasu, as well as Capri. And then we can actually show you the Ward skin, as well as the recoil effect as well. So we should be bringing this to you now. The Ward skin on the ground there, as you can see, in all its glory.
Board. Very nice.
The electrical.
We did it, boys.
You want to
electric just spinning
represent?
And there's the recoil animation for you as well. That will be part of the digital loot pack.
That's a cool one.
This one's great.
Wow, yeah.
I really enjoy this one.
Guess where he's going? World Championship.
Or back to base.
We don't have the sound for that one, but the sound is actually a work in progress anyway, guys, just as a heads up. But there is the Thundersticks emote as well that you actually just saw.
Let's see the Thundersticks one more time.
Thundersticks.
We've been doing so much work on SWC content that we're not even done.
That's right. But the thing is, Chuck, the patch isn't even out yet, so that's the main thing. This is a pre-show to the patch coming out.
It will be done. Oh, okay.
So that's how it's going to be with that. So just a quick rundown. The other thing that was in there that we did mention was the Divine Chest Roll. Can we actually just bring up that screen for the guys at home, because everyone will probably still be asking exactly what you get in that. I'd like to see the overarching of everything that's involved here. So you will get in this pack for 1,500 gems, 2 SWC 2017 skins, one of Amaterasu and one of Apollo, Chibi Hades, Convention Capri, the Ward skin that you just saw, the Thundersticks Global Emo with finished effects, just so you know, SWC 2017 Recall skin, and a Divine Chest Roll as well that will also have in it some additional things that weren't in it before, such as some of the rarer skins of the esports or convention skins from the past year. Very, very worthwhile overall. If you don't agree, you suck.
Oh,
wow.
Savage.
Way
That's
to go.
pretty much how it's going to be.
Hindu is savage,
Called
living
out.
up to his nickname.
Chat knows me. There's no reason for me to, like, beat around the bush about
I think
it.
the community knows how savage you are by now.
They know.
It's just part of it.
And
They
your
know.
bush beating.
And we love it.
I love beating bushes. That's just the way it is.
I don't.
Well,
That
next
English?
up,
That's where we drop that.
We're up to 30 minutes into the patch notes. We just got through skins, but it's time for our favorite part of the show, where me and Pompon bring you all the lovely stuff from the balance this week. Pompon, are you ready? Are you ready, though, Pom-Pom? Are you ready, Pom-Pom?
Looking back there, because I had to do it on a different computer, that I should just do the entire balance discussion in VGS.
You could.
So you just ask me questions and I just respond in VGS.
That would actually be better than your input you normally give me to the answers.
Wow! You are just on a roll being savage today.
I am. I'm in that zone now.
You need to calm down.
Let's just go with it. It's going to be great. Okay, so starting off this patch, we're going to start off with miscellaneous right about now. And it's going to be a spectator visual update. We're going to be updating the spectator.
Yeah, so if you are familiar with the Xbox UI, that's going to be kind of what we're transitioning towards. It's kind of unifying the broadcast, making sure we took some of the advantages we got from the Xbox UI, bringing it over to PC, so should be good.
Okay, and on top of that, we've also added initial. Oh, so we've actually got an image for that, just so you get a little look of what it will be similar to. Obviously, it's not all fleshed out right there, but a little look. If you've not seen the Xbox version of Spectator before, it's going to look a little something like that overall. And then also in miscellaneous this week, we're going to be adding initial support for Facebook in-game streaming.
Yeah, pretty cool. So basically when you're in-game, all you have to do is hit escape, and there'll be an option that says Facebook stream right between surrender and exit game. So stream instead of surrendering or leaving.
Hold up.
Just do that instead.
Hold up. We put the ability to stream between surrender and exit game.
Yeah. It's fine.
Whose idea was that?
That's fine.
Was that your idea?
It's fine.
Whoever's
There's no
idea
problem.
it was needs to be fined.
Look, people aren't going to misclick ever. When does that happen?
Between surrender and exit game. Of all the things to put in between. Well, Facebook streaming will be available to you. And now it's time to move on to items. Because we already did achievements. Because we were behind schedule.
It
items
happens.
this week. Heartseeker. Yes, you all know about it. We knew about it too. We fixed the issues, Pompon, with people being able to proc the passive before they'd even use an ability.
Yeah, so this kind of triggered a new kind of rule set for us where what should proc on activation items. And so we just kind of figured out that trigger effects aren't going to proc it. Things like Mercury charges aren't going to proc it anymore. So we've resolved a lot of those cases.
Well, the second item that's going to be changed this patch is Oni Hunter's Garb. Before we even discuss the changes, what is the reason for the changes, Pom-Pom?
So Oni Hunter's Garb is one of these items that gives a ton of magical protection. But it also goes away very quickly because it gives you like 10 per stack. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But it gives you a ton per stack.
Yeah,
but it also goes away from like jungle camps. It also goes away from mage basic auto attacks from like Ara in the mid lane. So we've now made it stack more. And the stacks are a little bit less worth it each one, but it actually ends up being a little bit higher in the end. There's a slight buff. Also, the protections are harder to shred and they're generated faster.
Well, here you go. It's going to have increased CCR, first of all, crowd control reduction from 15% to 20%. And also the passive now provides 10 magical protections every 6 seconds, and it's max of 5 stacks. It was previously every 10 seconds you would gain 15 magical protections, but max 3 stacks.
There we go.
So overall, an improvement to this item to bring it in line and make it more possible to pick it up.
Yep.
Alongside it. And then finally, we've also got Spirit Robe, but it's getting a bit of a nerf this patch, Pom-Pom. We're nerfing it from every 15 seconds it'll occur to every 10 seconds.
No, that would be a buff. We're nerfing it from every 10 seconds to 15.
That's what I meant.
There we go. so flat magic protection or flat damage protection is pretty good. It's just a very good stat. And when it was happening constantly during team fights, it was often really hard to actually play against it. You get CC'd, you get this effect on you, and then by the time they CC you again, it's basically up again. We want to have that window of opportunity where players can actually hit you for the full damage instead of the mitigated damage. And so we've increased the time that it takes for you to get that effect back.
So, bit of a nerf to that one. We'll see how that one plays. See if it brings it in line with the other items as well. But that's it for items. Now it's on to gods.
Yeah.
Favorite god in the patch, Pom-Pom, for change?
Let's see. Probably the one I spoiled, which is Xbalanque.
Okay, well, before we do that, we did also have one more thing that seems to have been forgotten. Bakasora got a new dance emote for all those Bakasora players out there. The dance emote is available for you in this patch as well, and hopefully we can bring you that right about now, and we can show it in game.
Oh man,
it's
that's
Eddie
great.
Gordo. Yeah, just sit, spin to win, spin to win. Pom-Pom is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Did you do the animations for that? As in, did you actually have to do the green screen to make it work?
we motion captured me. I'm actually pretty good at breakdancing.
Oh, really?
If there's a GIF floating around somewhere of my awesome dance skills at one of our charity events, so it's pretty believable.
I can imagine you actually do that. We could actually, before the end of the patch, maybe we'll bring you over here to actually demonstrate that before the end of the show.
No, it was something that was patched out in my firmware downgrade, so I can't do it anymore.
And the facial hair came back. Well, let's go straight back to gods then. Obviously, we saw the Bakasora dance. It's on to Chiron to start things off here, first of all. And what's the main reasons for the Chiron changes? They are buffs, but why are we buffing him?
So if we look back at Season 2, he was very, very strong. And then Season 3 kind of hit. He ate some nerfs. And the game has also changed a little bit since then. Items have come in and out. Gods have come in and out. And Chiron is currently sitting at a lower position where we'd want him to be. So we're bringing him up a little bit.
And we're going to bring him up by reducing the cooldown of his training exercise. It was 15 seconds. It now goes to 13. And not only that, Centaurus is ultimate. We're going to increase the projectile speed from 150 to 175. So it makes it a little bit easier to hit that now.
Yeah, we want to highlight his aspect of the kit, which is like the training exercise is a really good cleanse. It happens more often. It's more poke. And then his ultimate, it was often really hard to hit mid and long range. Players could juke it very easily. We want to bring that difference a little bit so you can hit it a little bit more easily. And it's a little bit harder to juke.
Next up on the list is Erlang Shen.
Yeah.
Pom-Pom, how's Erlang Shen been doing?
Pretty good. He gets played a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Was that sarcasm, Pom-Pom?
Just a little
Was
bit.
that sarcasm?
A little bit of sarcasm.
You're learning. We're getting there. Well, he's going to have a small change this patch, and it's going to be to his pin. We're going to adjust the root and cripple duration. It used to go from 1.15 all the way up to 1.75. It's now going to be a flat 1.3 at all ranks. Pom-Pom, why?
So pin is a very strong skill that you often level up very quickly because it's good poke, it's good control, and it's also good damage. And we want to just make sure that when he gets kind of out of the laning phase, he isn't bringing too much to the team fights in terms of that control. At 1.7 seconds, it was a little bit too much. Also, we also want to remove the variability when you're laning against him when he's ranking that up. We want to make sure that you have a consistent experience so you know that when you're going to get out of that root cripple effect, especially when it comes time to being ganked, that's very important to know. And so being at 1.3 seconds, you can kind of expect when it's going to end and react more appropriately.
Well, next up on the list after Erlang Shen is also going to be Freya, and it's going to be a very similar change to Freya. There's what happened to Erlang Shen. We're going to be adjusting the banish duration. It used to be 1 scaling up to 2 seconds. It's now going to be 1.5 seconds at all ranks. But not only that, we're going to update the FX to show when banished targets will fall for you and your teammates, as well as reducing the mana cost from 75 at all ranks to 70, scaling down to 50 as you rank this ability.
Yeah, so I'm sure players who play a lot have the experience where the Freya banishes someone, and then you sit there and you're like, maybe you're raw, and you go like, when's it going to land? When's it going to land? And you ult, and it turns out that was a rank 4 one. It was 1.8 seconds. It wasn't 1.2. Have fun missing. So we actually have now unified it, so it's 1.5 seconds at all ranks, so players can actually kind of learn when they're going to land, when they can save their teammates, or when they can try and execute that person who's banished. As well as there's now an effect that makes it very clear on the ground. There's actually a circle timer that goes underneath you that shows very clearly that, hey, banish is going to end right now.
Well, if you're a fan of physical hunters, you'll like the next change, because Hou Yi is going to be getting a bit of a buff this patch. Pom, why the buff, first of all?
So Hou Yi has kind of fallen off since we nerfed him with Mark of the Golden Crow. He used to have this combo where he could Mark of the Golden Crow, use his 1, and then that would also immediately cause the person to be stunned. Then he had 25% pen, and he could auto-attack and basically kill them. We took away a lot of that power, and we took away a lot of the duration on that. And since then, we've seen Hou Yi players shift into more of a, they're actually using all the rest of the synergies on their kit, and so we just kind of want to highlight that, specifically with Sunbreaker.
Well, Sunbreaker is the one that's going to get changed here, and it's going to be, now slows all targets inside the area by 20% for 0.5 seconds per every hit.
Yes.
But not only that, it's also going to increase the slow on targets marked by the Golden Crow from 20% to 40%. And it's also going to increase the duration from 0.25 seconds to 0.5 seconds of those marked by the Golden Crow as well.
So he now has more team fight presence, and also if he's in a 1v1 scenario, he can actually really lock that person down with a 40% slow.
Next up on the list is Carly, and these are going to be some general bug fixes for her. First of all, fixing an issue where Carly would be stuck without the ability to select her passive target. And also, Carly's passive will no longer automatically switch away from a target who is disconnected.
Yeah, so this, I kind of want to focus on the second one a bit. That one was basically, if you were Carly and you picked your target, it would show who you picked to the other team. And the other person could actually disconnect very quickly and reconnect, and it would pick a whole new target. So it kind of negated the whole purpose of what we did, which we wanted Carly players to be able to pick their target. We also wanted the team to kind of have to deal with that, and they could negate it. And so after looking at various fixes that we had, the best one we came up with was we want to make sure that players don't abuse case this, and we also want to make sure Carly players don't feel like they got gypped. And so the big thing is we are going to make it so that specifically if Kali player picks someone, they disconnect, they will actually be still targeted.
Right.
So essentially the idea is that if you pick a target, they disconnect, it will stay on them. You're still in a 45 scenario, so it's not like they can actually abuse case this to stop you from getting your passive. So that was kind of like the best middle ground we had, because any other solution had other abuse cases that could come up.
Okay. Next up on the list is Cool Khan. A little buff for Cool Khan. I'll read it out first of all, and Pop-On can tell us all about why.
Yeah. So Kulkan, he is a character, especially Slipstream. We have a lot of feedback on Slipstream as this is an ability that felt lackluster. It didn't feel like it contributed to his kit. It was often expensive, so you often skipped ranking it up. It didn't feel like it could help you in escape, and so we've taken a lot of that feedback and we've kind of changed how Slipstream works. So that now that instead of getting the movement speed flat for the duration, you get a ton up front and then it decays. So you move very, very fast and then it decays off slowly. So you can actually use it in reaction time, and we reduce the mana cost.
So it's going to increase the Slipstream's movement speed from 20 scaling up to 40%. It's now going to be 40% scaling up to 80%. But the movement speed now decays over the duration of the skill. Kulkan is running in a straight line. He should move about the same distance with this movement speed buff, but he will be much faster at the start, seems to be the idea.
Yep.
And also the mana cost has been reduced from 85 at all ranks to 65 at all ranks as well.
Yeah, so you're more likely to actually pick this up as maybe your 4th level after you get like your rank 2 a Tornado instead of skipping it altogether, because it actually will provide you a lot of escape potential.
Next up on the list is going to be Neath as well. Now these are just some general changes. Excuse me, made the weaves of Buck and Neath and Scarlet Dangerfield easier to tell if they are friendly or enemy weaves. And we've also fixed an issue where certain Neath skins were playing audio from other Neath skins.
Yeah, they were crossing over. Maybe like they were just like decided they wanted to like, cosplay as each other, but we fixed it.
Can we just not put the skins together into a sort of cosplay mesh? Would that be possible in the future?
Like every time you respawn, it's just a different skin.
Now you're going to get Reddit threads about people asking for
And there we go. We did it.
Now Chuck's going to be angry with you, and that's not my fault. Just saying. Next up, Susano.
So Susano is back on the list.
Pom-Pom. Susano is back on the radar and back on the list for this week. Pom-Pom, we just nerfed him. What are we changing?
So Susano, we took away a lot of the frustration factors that players had. Especially the instant knockup was the big one. That gave Susano a very quick control ability that often had very little counterplay associated with it, and players just felt like they'd get hit by it, they'd get comboed, and they'd die, and they didn't feel like they had a good recourse. And so when we removed that, as well as made some timing changes to abilities, we saw his frustration factor drop a lot with players, but we also saw him drop a lot in just performance in general. So we're also looking at him very closely to make sure that we bring back some of the power that we took away, and also looked at some of the things that we changed for trying to avoid frustration and see which ones actually mattered. One of the big ones we got was the pre-fire time on the one. Players didn't still feel like they could play around it too much, and it also felt really clunky for the Susano players. So we're bringing that back, we're reverting that change, and we're also doing a little bit more to the ultimate to help him have a little bit more control in fights.
So just to check, the Storm Qatar reverted the pre-fire charge from Storm Qatar's first hit from 0.4 seconds to 0.1 second, and the Typhoon now changes visual and will knock up enemies after charging for 1 second as well.
Yep. So if you're a Susano player, you can get that knock up quicker, but you also still have a second to charge up so that players can actually choose to react to it appropriately. And also we removed the clunkiness that was kind of added that players were feeling with the one.
Well, a lot of the people who love Susano hopefully will be happy with that change, and we'll keep an eye on him going forward.
Yep.
I'm sure we will too. On top of that, Terra is next up, and that's going to be Monolith. Now, this is a good change, I feel, personally. We'll see how it does overall. Can now be destroyed by players using 3 basic abilities.
Yeah, so
attacks, I should say.
Yeah, basic attacks. So if you're Terra, right, you can throw that heal out. It's a healing field for your team. Enemy team can't walk there. It's a huge zoning potential, and it can immediately turn into like a root effect and a damage field. And so enemy teams, once it was out, they kind of just had to deal with it. Now they can deal with it more appropriately by basic attacking and destroying it. So if you throw out this monolith, players can actually then attack it and get rid of it. So you have to choose, do you want to turn it to the damage field? Maybe you have to place it a little bit more conservatively or with your team instead. And so it'll change how Terra players play and also give teams more opportunities to play against Terra.
Awesome. Very small change. Are we still monitoring her, by the way, just as she goes forward? Because obviously we've seen a lot of bans towards her.
Yeah, just overall. I mean, we've seen her kind of move in and out, and seen people like really think that she's really good, or people think that she's not as good, and we've seen that happen very quickly. So we're just going to keep an eye on her and see if we want to do anything else in the future.
And the final god to be balanced in this patch is going to be Xbalanque.
Yeah.
And Xbalanque is going to get a little bit of a change for you, so I'm just going to read this up because we're covering at the bottom. I apologize, but it's going to be Branching Bowler. Reduced mana cost from 8 to 16 is now going to be 6, scaling up to 14. And we've also reduced the mana cost of his poison darts as well. It used to be 70 to 90. It's going to be 60 to 80 now instead.
So the whole goal here is just give Xbalanque a little bit more mana to play with. He'll still burn through his mana very quickly. Like if he leaves his one on and he uses all his ability and dumps it, he's still going to burn through mana. But we want players who are using these intelligently to feel like they have a little bit more wiggle room to make sure that they can activate one when they want to go in. They can use their 2 and 1 a little bit more to clear the wave early on, and just give him a little bit more options there.
Awesome. And there's Xbalanque, and that's all the items and god balance that we're going to be seeing this patch. But that's not all we've got this patch. No, sirree. We've also got to come back to Fishman, AJ, and Chuck, because we're going to be going straight into discussion about Toth. Or Fishman, is it Thoth, or is it Thoof, or is it Tooth, or...
So as best we could determine, since, you know, this is an archaic language, it should be pronounced Thoth or potentially Tote. But, you know, really, yeah. So, really, no one knows.
He's not a shoulder
Egyptian's not a
bag.
living language, so if you want to say Thoth, you want to say Toth,
I'm saying Toth.
you go right ahead.
I say Thoth. You say Thoth.
I
Potato.
like Thoth. I think
Potato.
that's a reasonable...
You guys choose at
Toth.
home. Let's have a look at what Toth or Thoth looks like on his card art right now, and what a handsome birdman he is.
Pretty birdman.
Tell me a little bit, Fishman, about this guy's lore.
Sure. So, Thoth is kind of Ra's right-hand man. Ra has one of his eyes abandoned him. It's one of his daughters. She turns into a monstrous lion and goes and eats people and drinks their blood and causes a commotion. So Ra sends Thoth to go bring her back. And he does. She doesn't want to come back, but he kind of persuades her, and she comes back, and everybody's happy again. And so as a reward, Ra sets him up in the underworld as like his man in the underworld, where he kind of helps evaluate people's souls when they pass into the afterlife. He also is known for having his book, which is supposed to be so powerful that if anyone reads it, they'll become one of the most powerful magicians in the world. But the stories of that are more about the trouble that befell them because those kind of powers are meant for the gods, not mere mortals.
Well, you guys have all been reading the book for quite a while right now, and you can now play as Toth with his book all in the game. Fishman, tell me about this god's passive.
Okay, so his passive is kind of related to his book.
Actually, before we do that, I suggest we probably should say what kind of role he's going to be going into. What are we aiming for?
That's what I thought, but if you want to talk about the passive, I'll talk
I
about
was so
whatever
excited about the book,
you
man.
want to talk
so
about.
excited.
The book is just too good.
Yeah.
I think chat wants to hear his laugh, actually.
Oh, we'll get there.
We will in due time. In due time. We have a lot of mages in Smite, so when we make another mage in particular, obviously any new god, but when we make a mage in particular, we kind of want a unique twist. And so Thoth's role is he's kind of a long-distance spellcaster, relatively high damage, low CC, and he's good because of those combinations at securing objectives in particular.
Okay. So, let's go into the passive now then.
Yeah, shall we? I think it'd be a good time to talk about
that. I jumped the gun a little bit
accept
to
your
excited about the
apology.
book. That was all.
Yeah, so obviously in kind of a nod to the Book of Thoth, his passive is as he's learning the weaknesses of his opponents and writing them down into his book, the dead book, if you will, he is building stacks for getting kills, just like you would with the Book of Thoth. So if he gets 30 kills, minion, jungle monster, god, then he gets a stack of magical penetration, 4 magical penetration. He can originally only have 1 stack, but then as he gains levels, every 4 levels, he unlocks a new chapter, if you will, of another 30 kills, which can then give him another stack.
Okay.
So by level 17, he caps out at 20 total magical penetration, just from his passive.
So it's just like stacking a Book of Toth, basically.
That's right, except it unlocks how high he can stack it as he levels up.
As he levels. And the max he can get is 20 penetration.
That's right, which is 5 stacks.
You're going to be building stacks on this god.
Stacks on stacks.
Stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks.
Yo, dog, I heard you like stacks.
Yes, so we put stacks on your stacks.
So you can stack while you stack.
So you can stack while you stack.
Yes.
This is what designers
You can
do.
actually get a stack of stacks.
Yeah, it is. It's a double stacking
Yeah.
ability in itself. It's beautiful.
And that's without Book of Thoth.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and get Warlocks while you're at it.
So the passive Dead Reckoning, it will give you 20 pen as you max it out over the course of a game. You can get those stacks from killing enemy gods, killing creatures in the jungle, killing jungle buffs like Gold Fury and Fire Giant, and also minion waves as well. So right from the beginning of the game, you can start earning penetration as you play.
That's right.
Perfect. What's the one then?
Okay, so when you're trying to kill these gods and get your stacks,
You want to deal damage?
sure, absolutely. Most mages do. So this is kind of somewhere in between 2 ideas we already have in the game, which is Isis's Wing Gust, where she throws out multiple projectiles,
Yep.
and kind of a Medusa Viper Shot, where you get to control those projectiles by using your in-hand attack. Now, the reason it's a hybrid is because it doesn't do basic attack damage. It will not. It's not based on your attack speed.
Yeah.
It will not proc basic attack items. You just use that to control it. It replaces your basic attack.
Okay.
It doesn't damage towers either. But you get 3 of those to fire out. You can cast it. You have as long as you want. You can fire those whenever you need them. It will not go on cooldown until all of them have been fired. And then it also has some interactivity with his 3 when we get there.
So you're telling me I can fire 2 of them at like a harpy camp and then save 1 for a fight that maybe happen after?
You absolutely can.
Okay, cool. So
And
you
they
don't have
are
to be sure.
abilities. They're controlled by the basic attack, but he is in no way a mage ADC
That's right.
with this ability. This is ability.
And this is called Hieroglyphic Assault, I believe.
That's correct.
I mean, he does fire hieroglyphs and they do assault you, so it kind of makes perfect sense.
It's going to do a lot of reading and writing and creating of hieroglyphs in his kit. That's a good, strong theme for this god.
Well, following up on that then, AJ, you should tell me a little bit about his second ability in this game.
Yeah, so ability 2, Evade and Punish. This is one we've been experimenting with on a lot of different gods in development, but we haven't brought it to the game in a while. This is an 8-way dash. So we've tried this 8-way dash a couple times. We really found out in our testing that it works best on ranged characters. So we're like, oh, we're going to make this long-range nuker mage. This is the perfect ability for him. So he essentially has, similar to Rom, 8-way dash, and after dashing, he
gets a
goes
pointy
into this.
finger.
He goes into this stance with his like scribe finger, and then he can shoot. His next left click will shoot a projectile that is going to pierce through targets, deal damage, and slow.
Deal damage and slow.
This slow is the only CC on his kit.
That's right.
Okay.
No hard CC. He just has the soft CC of this slow. So
Now, when you say it penetrates as well, it penetrates through multiple gods?
It's going to go through all targets, minions and gods, and hit everybody in the line.
Can you hit towers with that or not? His class is an auto.
Also abilities. He is all ability based except for his basic attacks. All of these abilities work like abilities.
That's a lot of archers.
That is a lot of archers.
You would die to a wave like that normally.
But look at all the stacks we get. So this is another interesting one is you can activate the 1 while you have the 2 active. It always fires the 2 first. So if you happen to have both, you'll shoot the 2, then you can start shooting the 1. So you can really queue up his abilities in interesting ways.
So you can combo them a little bit.
We'll see this twisted a little bit more here when Fish explains ability 3, which is the real kicker unique thing to this kid.
Well, at the moment, what I can tell with this Pompon, it doesn't seem very long range, which you said it was.
We're getting there.
So
you're not wrong, but you are wrong.
What's ability 3 then?
Okay, so ability 3 is his Glyph of Pain. This is kind of the twist, as AJ was setting me up for. So what this does, if you pass through it, if your enemies pass through it, if your allies pass through it, doesn't do anything. It's kind of a lens. If he fires his abilities through it, however, it extends their range by an additional 30. So they're 55, 85. That's where he gets his range. He uses this to set up his 1, his 2, and his ultimate. On his 2, it affects both the dash and the projectile after. It affects all of the shots of his 1. It affects his ultimate. Go ahead.
It increases the dash range as well there?
It does. It increases the range of any of his abilities. Also, for both himself and allies, it increases the damage of basic attacks that are fired through. Although it does not increase the range of the basic attacks. And it increases the damage on anything that are on his abilities and his basic attacks, and then as well as his allies' basic attacks.
Gotcha. So ability range, auto attacks of other teammates will not increase the range.
It will not increase the range, but it will increase their damage.
Gotcha. So it doesn't increase damage if you fire through this, so if you do see a top in your team, you can abuse that situation.
So if everybody's coming up to hammer a tower,
you use your 2 to get away, you put your lens down, and then you blink at him from a safe distance.
Or if you're aggressing a tower, you put the lens down right in front of it,
and
so all of your allies are essentially forced to shoot through it, and they're going to be dealing increased basic attack damage. So, yeah, increased range on abilities, increased damage on basics.
Well, I guess we should move on then to the final thing in this God's Kit. It's everything everybody always looks forward to, is what the ultimate is going to be. And the ultimate is called, AJ?
Final Judgment.
That sounds pretty scary.
Yeah, so, we're sticking with this theme of this, Judger of Dead Souls. This is another one we've been wanting to do for a while. This is a true charge-up ability, which we tried a couple times in development, but hadn't really got there before. But this time we really went all the way with it.
I see a problem.
As you can see, it's got a long range already. It's going to get even longer if you use the 3, you use the glyph to amplify it.
I know what Twitch is going to be saying, AJ, right now.
What are they saying?
Where's the CC immunity?
There is no CC immunity on this.
How the hell are you going to use that skill?
Well, you got to time it. You got to be in good position. And the thing is, it does not go on cooldown unless you fire it. So you can charge it and cancel it. If you don't think it's a good time or you didn't quite get your timing right, you can try again. It'll only go on cooldown if you fire it. So that's why it also doesn't need CC immunity, because you can be charging it and you can get stunned out of firing it at the time you wanted, and that's just gonna...
But you can also bait people with it as well, right?
You can.
So like they're gonna charge it and you're like, oh, and I'm only kidding. I'm only joking.
He kind of does a yell. It's like Macho Man meets Skyrim.
Yeah, it's the final judgment of the Birdborn.
But as you were saying, if you put down the 3, the Glyph of Pain, it will go even further.
Yeah, let's see that again real quick with the... So you cannot use any other abilities while charging the ultimate either.
Okay. But other abilities, the 1 and the 2, you can place the lens after you're already in that stance. The ultimate, however, you're locked in.
Okay. So this one's you're locked in. The 1, 2, and 3, lots of interactions between. The ultimate, you got to set up before you fire it.
And the ultimate, it's very strong. It has a very long charge-up time.
You'll see as these light up, that's indicating how much damage it's going to do. You need to get all 3 of those corners lit up for the maximum amount of damage.
But
then
you can fire it earlier?
You can fire it early,
left, right.
and you'll see actually only the 2 in the projectile. See, that's the weakest version.
Gotcha.
There's actually 4 versions of this projectile. There's just the triangle, there's 1 orb, 2 orbs, and 3.
So he really feels like an artillery mage more than anything else. He's going to sit on the backside and deal damage, but it does look like he's susceptible to getting caught.
That's exactly right. He's all about controlling the battle from afar. If he gets ganked, if he gets set up on where he is now, he has very little lockdown to keep himself away. He's got the 1 escape. It doesn't go all that far unless he takes the time to set it up with his 3, which is a little bit harder to access than some of the other mages. So he does suffer if he doesn't have someone to set up for him.
Well, and that's 2 abilities you have to use
to
really get your full escape potential.
Definitely want to pair him with a good setup Guardian Warrior.
Obviously, we can't see the cooldowns on this right now, but I'm a little bit concerned about this, like the fact that the fights in Smite move so quickly across the map sometimes. That cooldown on that, what is that cooldown on the 3, obviously? Because that's very important to his kit, it seems.
Absolutely. So the other abilities have relatively standard cooldowns. His 3 is relatively low mana cost, low cooldown, since it doesn't do anything by itself. So that as the battle shifts, you can kind of adjust it to match the changing battlefield.
So it does have a lower cooldown just to allow you to replace it.
Definitely. And a long duration. It lasts for 8 seconds, and its cooldown is less than that. Specifically so, you can put it where you need it.
That makes sense, because otherwise he would really struggle, I feel, overall. So Artillery Mage is going to be in the game. It looks fantastic too. He does obviously come with a voice pack, so he should have a little listen.
You took a page right out of my
book. Lines kind of dry, a little scholarly.
I wrote the book on victory.
When we get to his laugh, though.
Splendid.
We'll get to the laugh at the end.
Attack left lane. Defend middle lane. Time to pin your name in the book of the dead. Your day of judgment is at hand. It is not wise to stand against the judge of the damned. A lover once gave me an ultimatum. Either the books go or I do. Sometimes I think of her when I acquire a but I have only my shelf to blame.
Oh, shelf. Oh, that's a
good
one.
One book says to another, you look a little thinner. Second book says, thanks, I had my appendix removed.
Oh. All right, let's laugh.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
It has returned.
We couldn't disappoint. No. His patron Ra.
It's almost more like he's saying rah, 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 rah. And there's some cause in there, too.
It's like a what does the fox say?
I've just got... Listen, guys, don't do this at home, right? But I've just got an opinion of having Toth in game with a Ra at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And then just for added measure, throw Rama in there as well.
Oh, we absolutely did that in playtest.
It's a good thing we added that mute button for enemy laughs and taunts, right? Or allies, so if you need to. Someone having a little too much fun.
Is this a what does the Thoth say joke? Is that what's happening
here?
Yeah,
a little bit, yeah, maybe. No, you know, we wanted to pair him with Ra. They're bros, and so they got the great laugh bros.
What's your favorite thing about this skin then, boys, as we go through it? Obviously, actually, we should talk to you first of all, Chuck, because we've not really mentioned about the design of this god whatsoever. Like, how difficult was he to implement in terms of art?
Well, the particular challenge of Thoth was that we have Ra, who is also an Egyptian bird god mage.
Yes.
So we had to make a large amount of very conscious decisions in order to differentiate Thoth and Ra. He also has this ibis head, which when attached to a human body, it just resulted in some really kind of bizarre looking stuff. So, you know, figuring out a design for the headdress and a color scheme that was very different from Ra, and giving him, you know, his whole color scheme on the character, and now we're on the skin, so it's kind of making it.
You can still discuss it because obviously it's the same sort of skin.
And then the trick was that, you know, generally we have our more mystic characters be floaters, but we didn't really want him to be a floater because Ra is a floater, and again, it would make them have too similar of an appearance. So the animation guys came up with this concept of having him walk on this sort of hieroglyphic ground, because the slow walk really makes him look scholarly and you know, kind of pensive,
teacher-esque.
Because really, gods in Smite move at a pretty good clip, right?
They do.
So this way, we were able to give him a slow walk where he looks very methodical and well thought out.
Can we see his com walk?
Just shoot something.
Combat then walk.
Combat
yeah,
walk?
basic attack.
There
then
we go.
walk. Yeah, with his book out.
And it was actually a bunch of work between the animation guys and the effects guys to kind of get these hieroglyphs that come up magically appear under his feet as he's walking, and kind of support him. So that was kind of neat. And actually, as it turns out, making a book with pages that turn takes a lot of bones and is really expensive and kind of a giant pain in the butt. But we really wanted to commit to it here.
Yeah.
I really wanted to use it as much as we could.
The hieroglyphs?
what we did with the hieroglyphs and also his like writing finger. You know, he's reading and writing a lot. So this is one thing I believe Chuck or some of the artists came up with earlier in his design, where he's like, we'll kind of have him have these like, you know, magic writing, scribing hands he could do to create his spells and stuff, and pulling things out of his book.
Yeah.
I think that just really worked out really well
The
together.
interaction with his book is fantastic.
Yeah, pulling stuff out of the book and writing things in midair and having him kind of bring up that magical control panel for the ultimate, where he's kind of piecing together all of these glyphs. So yeah, it was neat because I really feel like the abilities and all the stuff that we did really came together into like a single cohesive concept, which all of the art around the character supports. So.
And I will say some of the audio is not final yet. We have some placeholders and some early versions. There's some like musical tracks on here that are not going to be playing on his final iteration.
And this is Sanguine Scribe Toth, by the way. This is the recolor skin that you'll be able to purchase as well during this patch. Just an additional skin for you. Why not, you know?
So many.
We gave you some options this week. Yep. Thanks, Bob. And that is all we have on the show. But do we have any Q&A today?
Yeah.
We do have time for Q&A? Hopefully.
Definitely. We got a couple.
We got some questions in from the community to answer. Obviously, we tweeted about it. You guys can actually tweet us during the patch notes as well. Normally, hashtag SMITE patch, and we will try and read your questions and get them all involved for you. So let's have a look over the questions. First of all, it is the Fighting Amish. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read the room. What season of SMITE did you enjoy playing the most and why? Fisherman, we'll start with you.
Oh, that's easy. This season. And I hope that next season will be my favorite as well. We are always trying to make our game the best it can be and the most fun. And I like everything we've done.
AJ?
I mean, this is my first time, my first season while working at Hi-Res, so it was, you know, absolutely unbelievable and completely new. But I'm a closed beta player, and I have so much nostalgia from the really old map and the really old gods, and where you could put anyone in any lane. I mean, Season 0, I don't know. I'm gonna keep trying to get it where we can top that, and it might just look good because of the nostalgia, but man, Season 0.
Sure. What about you?
I mean, I got to agree with Fishman.
Yeah.
This season? I'll go Season 2 just to be different.
Season 2 just to be different. Good for
Why
you.
not?
Good for
You
you,
know,
Hindu.
That's what I am. Special snowflakes. That's all I need to be. Next question, please. Shadow Stealth 7. Any plans for more execution skills?
How do you guys feel about executes?
It's not something I will rule out, to be sure. But I know that it's something that's hard to get to a balance point where it can be effective on that god's kit without being frustrating to the opponents. So I'm leery, but I won't rule anything out.
Yeah, I feel the same way. We really want to wait until we get a god that really works on. I mean, we discussed it a little bit with Kamazotz. We looked at it, but we didn't want him like, you know, dive bombing or do anything like, I don't know. I'm really happy with what turned out with him. So we'll definitely keep looking on it, but I'm not really sure.
So there's chances of it, but it just depends if it fits.
Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna force it. But when we get cool gods and great ideas and it comes about naturally, we'll look into it. I know Chuck is a big Ao Kwong player, so I want to see what he thinks about
not at all Diamond Ao Kwong.
Oh.
I hate executes. I hate turning into a giant dragon and bursting out of the ground and murdering people.
Well, that is the coolest execute. So if we can do it that cool again, we'll do it again.
Next question, please.
I mean, Thanatos, the giant skull, squirts out of their... Yeah, Thanatos doesn't
what
even
does
matter.
it do?
It just squirts out of the dead guy like, and it's so awesome that you just don't even care that you just get murdered right after. You're just like, I executed that guy. That was amazing. I'm amazing.
We'll do it. We'll do it again eventually.
Next up is Patoy239. Ymir Booty, best booty?
It's definitely top tier, like S+ booty. We have some pirate booty that's also pretty good.
Pretty true.
I'd say it's the best. Yes. Simple yes.
What about you, Chuck?
I'm going with Buccaneath personally, but, you know, whatever.
That is a hot skin.
Sol for me, because she's even hotter.
Oh, you burned me.
Not only was that a bad joke, you revived a bad joke from earlier in the stream. That's like a necro bad joke.
And potentially a Reddit thread.
Bad jokes get better the more you say them,
Next question,
right?
please.
Like a fine wine.
Hopefully they improve. Ali Mail, I believe it is. It says, what inspires game designers to think the next god will be this one in this pantheon? That's a very good question, actually.
Oh, man.
What actually inspires you guys?
I would love to be in the world where, as a game designer, I just say, hey, guys, this is the next god we're doing. I thought about it. I decided it's what we're doing. That is not at all.
Yeah, that is not the world we live in any way.
We have a whole pipeline of many, like, contributing voices, and generally it's everyone arriving at the conclusion that within the schedule of, like, what hasn't been done recently, what's the coolest, right? But that's in no way just the game designer's job. It's like, oh, this is the god, guys. We're doing it.
I mean, there is a chart
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, well, we've got pantheons, and then we've got roles, and what about this, and then male and female.
And it's adjusted monthly,
yeah.
like, oh, well, this really succeeded, so why don't we try this?
Right, and it's like Terra was a perfectly good example, right? Where we were like, all right, we need a guardian Roman female. And then we were like, oh.
And it's like, if we couldn't come up with a good one, then our previous, like, 3 decisions all fell apart. Like,
right,
so
yeah.
The whole chart shifts.
Well,
yeah,
then we've got to alternate which roles we put out in what order and all these
but
things.
we don't have any sort of specific pattern because we like to just keep it fun and mysterious
So
in a lot of ways.
realistically,
So
this question where it says, what inspires game designers to think the next goal will be this one, is kind of the feedback
chart.
from the community as well, right?
Definitely.
gods
Yeah, absolutely.
work out.
Whatever, if we have something where the whole team is excited, immediately we're like, we want to do this guy with this concept. Everyone's like, wow, that sounds awesome.
Done.
We usually find a way to make it work, and we move the schedule accordingly to make sure we don't get anything stale.
Well,
or
we kind of did
repetitive.
that with Camazotz, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wanted Camazotz bad for a long time, and then it always kept getting juggled because of the chart. Yep. The chart just kept, we're like, oh, we got to push Camazotz out of here. Well, we'll just do him at Halloween.
That's what we said. We said we're going to be our October god, Halloween spooky god, and
The
then we
chart
locked
can
him
bend
in.
around him.
Yeah, exactly, and bent some other god releases around to make Camazotz work.
Because we were all excited.
Next question, please. See if we can get a few through a few more. I can't speak today. Neon Neol, is there anything you ever wanted to add but couldn't due to restrictions? Fisherman, we'll start with you.
I don't know what the restrictions are.
That could mean anything, you know. It could mean you could talk about some things we didn't do with Thoth.
I mean,
This happens all the time, mostly with timing.
sure.
Like, we'll have these ideas for cool presentations and things, but everything in Smite happens so fast that it's really ridiculously hard. Like, for example, the Thoth in hands, right, where we kind of had him drawing the glyph and then shooting it. That was cool,
Yeah.
but it took too long. So then we're like, well, he pulls it out of the book and throws it. And that turned out
Sure.
to be cool too, but that's just an example of what happens with that.
Yeah, and originally, like, there was some ideas with Raijin where there was like a whole mini rhythm game, right?
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But like
Dance Dance Revolution.
Actually,
sort of?
Ping kills a lot of our designs because we have
Sure.
ideas like this, and we're like, this is great, this is perfect. On
if you're
land,
not on land,
it would be, but then you get a little bit of ping, and you think you're pressing the DDR numbers, and then instead you're just missing all your Reginald, and you die.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Wait.
ping has caused issues for other god abilities we've designed as well.
The biggest example of this in the history of the game, however,
I know where you're going
is
with
Ao
this.
Kuang Dragon.
Really?
Yeah.
But you did it.
I don't know. I got to hear what you were going to say.
I was
No, Ao Kuang Dragon, when this originally came up,
Yeah?
some person or group of people, I won't disclose who that was like, we want the Ao Kuang, we want a 50-foot dragon. And we were like, okay. So we built this 50-foot dragon, and we were like, all right, what are we going to do with this? Because this collision cylinders in Smite are like this. They're like this. And dragons are like this, right? And we just couldn't do it. And that's why Ao Kuang comes up out of the ground and executes you, because there was no other way for us to use a 50-foot
You couldn't just
dragon.
be flying around the conquest map like that the whole game. It would be.
That's true.
Yeah, but you
I don't
couldn't
know.
hit.
Yeah,
you
like how would
couldn't-
you hit him? Like,
yeah.
or he would be always hittable. You wouldn't miss. You
Yeah.
would just take a
There
bunch
was-
of ults to the face.
There was no way to do it.
I was thinking Uller.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because Uller
What was
wasn't-
the restriction?
Well, again, entities that will not be named.
Technical constraints. He was supposed to transform, right?
He
That's
was.
what I
He was
heard.
always supposed to transform. Like, the two
Idealistic
stances was from the beginning.
constraints, yeah.
But like originally, he was not supposed to have a bow at all. He was supposed to have throwing
He was
axes.
supposed to turn into a bear.
Into a
Get on
bear.
Reddit and tell somebody how cool that would have been.
Man.
So that's probably the saddest tear I've ever cried about something that could
It
not
was
be put
sad.
in.
But we made it happen
due
with
to
Fafnir. We got the
restrictions.
true transforming
Yes,
god.
yeah.
It just took us a little longer because it was a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Good
Yeah,
question.
and that was the thing with Fafnir too, was when we were like, okay, he is going to transform into a playable dragon. We're gonna put it in the game.
Right.
How big can it be? And we made a
Yeah.
dragon, and we were like, can it be bigger, slightly bigger? What about bigger? So eventually we figured out the maximum okay size.
And a lot of work was put in to keep him more vertical than horizontal too.
Yeah.
so that he fits the cylinder.
That's
yeah.
right.
Turned out really well.
Well, my added thought to that was I wanted F7 to make you uninstall the game just to make sure that you feel what it's like to keep me in games for no reason. But we will go into the last
So
one as well.
savage.
No. It's just the way life is. F7 should make you uninstall the game just as well. Last question is going to be Clacy24. How do you use the sound design?
But when I'm 16 and 2, right, and some loser wants to quit out of my game, I'm not going out of
Like
that
him
game.
doing that last
because
pros
you're
versus
farming
high-res
the bot
pros game.
in the solo lane and not with the team. That could be
No,
the reason,
that's
Chuck.
because I'm like straight just murdering people.
How do you use
Yesterday.
sound
Killer.
design, including voice acting, to communicate what a god does?
Yeah, I really liked this question.
We're all talking about it.
I haven't gone 16 and 2 in a while, but
So we
It's
definitely
happened.
use voice acting most to deal with character and theme, and so like with Thoth, wanted him to be very decisive and regal and scholarly, so he has a nice, calm, collected voice to go with it. And then we also use the sound design. We do a lot of specific directions that designers will give to the audio team. Like, so Thoth has long-range projectiles. We need these projectiles to actually have sounds on the projectile as they move, so you can hear this approach you, not just a fire sound. So at first glance, you might think he only needs a fire, but you really need these extra things.
And some of that we communicate by temporarily borrowing existing sound assets from other gods, which kind of gives a suggestion of, this is kind of what I was picturing to convey that in the playtest. But I also want to speak to the other side, which is there are a lot of gaps in what the designers describe. Like, we'll say, okay, here's the general personality, and here's some temp sounds, and here's some specifics that we want. But our sound team, a lot of times, will just look at what effects are in there, go through, and be like, this is what that should sound like. And 90% of the time, even without us specifying this is what we're looking for, it's spot on. We have a really good team.
I mean, our audio team is super into it, and they nail it 90% of the time. That's
and
for sure.
sometimes Fishman will be like, all right, this Ultimate's charging up. I want Macho Man plus Skyrim. He's like, oh, yeah.
Well, Thoth
Gats to.
is going to be here in the next patch for you guys. I hope you all enjoyed the Patch Note show this week. It was very, very full and busy. When is PTS, boys and girls, before I close?
That's a high-res Chris question. He'll tweet it out soon.
Yep. He will let you know on Twitter to follow.
Yeah.
Hashtag soon, and patch should be out on around Tuesday, all being well, as per usual.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, get ready. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to have you all. 3.21 is officially on its way. I hope if you have any feedback, don't hesitate to send it to us as per usual. But for everyone here at Higher Studios, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Losing control, your eyes entice me. Just let me go, your hold is tightening. I feel